So let me talk about results-based hypnosis. It's basically an approach, a philosophy that we have in approaching hypnotherapy. There are 7 main points which are in your manual. The first point is that reality trumps theory. And what that means is what's happening in front of you with a client who's actually there. That matters more than what you learned in class, and it matters more than what should happen in theory. Anytime that there's something that shouldn't happen, well, it actually is happening. So make sure that you handle whatever situation that arises and trust what's happening in front of you before you trust, again, what should happen, because everybody's an individual. Here we give you generalizations for what, again, ought to happen in general, but you will find exceptions. 2, the client's experiences after hypnosis are more important than their experiences during hypnosis. And this is somewhat uncomfortable for many hypnotherapists to accept because we have control of the session while they're here. We can control the environment, we lead the session, and we basically set up everything from beginning to end. What happens in the world out there, when they go back to work or when they go back to home, we have no control over that. So that's somewhat uncomfortable for some hypnotherapists to accept. But at the same time, the client lives 167 hours outside your office every week and only 1 hour in your office. So those 167 hours outside your office are more plentiful and matter more than the 1 hour that you have there. What this means is you have to bridge the gap between what you do in the office and what they experience in the world out there. It means you do future pacing, it means you prepare them, it means you assign homework, so that it's not just the 1 hour they have in the hypnotherapy office as an isolated hour outside their life in general. You want this hour to be only a preview. You want it to be preparation for the rest of their life in the world out there. 3rd, the hypnotherapist's job is to get the client from point A to point B, from where they are now to where they want to be, without defining either point, without trying to tell the client what their problem is. We ask them, what do you want to change? What have you identified as something that you're not satisfied with? And we don't define where they ought to be after this work. We don't tell them, how much weight they should lose, or we don't even tell them that they ought to quit smoking unless they say it first. We don't set goals for clients. We want to know what they want for themselves. And our job is limited to getting them from where they are now to where they want to be. 4, the hypnotherapist's plans are only useful until the client's plans thwart them. But this is part of the process, and this always happens. No, not always, but it happens often enough. We can set a plan. We can choose a process for the client to follow. But very often the client has reasons why they have their problem. I mean, I say reasons very loosely, often they're excuses. But to them, there's a rationale behind why they have their problem. So our plans only work insofar as only to the degree that the client accepts them. You often reach a point, however, where the client's other plans thwart them, and then it's up to you to be flexible enough to change what you do so that we can help the client get around their problems. What it means is it's not for you to set out a long, complicated plan before you've even met the client, because the client's going to give you a lot of information telling you what your plan ought to be. It means that you want to remain flexible as to what happened in the client's life between sessions. You don't want to do too much preparation without actually talking to the client. Find out what the client's results were. Find out what happened in the client's life. Find out what their obstacles were. And form your plan based on that, not ahead of time. 5, being a hypnosis client should not require a leap of faith. And that seems obvious to me, but at the same time, there are a lot of concepts that hypnotherapists espouse that are almost, or that are leaps of faith, but that are almost spiritual or religious concepts. For example, past life regression. To me, and to to, I would say, most people in the Western world, it's a massive leap of faith to accept the idea that the problems you have today are caused by a karmic debt that you carry from a past life, or caused by mistakes you made in past lives. Yet many hypnotherapists espouse this as the way the world or the spirit works. And to me, we should not be asking clients to make that leap of faith. It's not for us to impose beliefs that are spiritual or religious or controversial in nature upon our clients. We want to enter into the client's worldview and work from there, not to impose anything upon them. Similarly, we shouldn't be asking the client to have faith or have implicit faith in hypnosis or us. We should be able to show the client results. We should be able to demonstrate hypnotic phenomena. We shouldn't just ask them to accept that you were hypnotized. We should actually demonstrate something that convinces them they were hypnotized. So again, this is a skeptical approach to hypnosis. It is somewhat conservative because many people would accept, well, they would accept anything you tell them, but my opinion is we should not take advantage of that, and it's for us to demonstrate the things we say and to prove the things we say, not just to say them. 6. As hypnotherapists, we succeed by being more flexible and being more resourceful than the client is. The client's going to have many ways around your suggestions. So if they come in as a smoker, they have many ways to remain a smoker. They think, if I get stressed, I want to smoke. If I get into an argument with my spouse, I want to smoke. That's what relaxes me. They think, if I want to get a break at work, I smoke. These are all ways that they have to keep being a smoker. And you need to be flexible and resourceful enough to run circles around those habits and around those reasons and those excuses. So we succeed by being more flexible than the client is. If the client is flexible enough to get around all of your suggestions and all of your plans, then they've won in a way. But they haven't really won. They've sort of just kept their problem. You want to be more flexible than they are, so that anytime they bring up an objection or anytime they bring up a reason why they have the habit, you want to find a way around that. So flexibility is crucial in this work. And finally, results-based hypnosis leads to elegant change. By elegant, I mean it's getting the most effect that you can with the least words, the shortest process that you can. And here's where I sort of get philosophical, but there is a beauty, a certain type of beauty in hypnotherapy done well. It's when it happens just smoothly, things flow well, there's no resistance, and there's no excessive verbiage involved. And this is something that comes with mastery. As you come to get used to doing inductions, deepeners, as you get a sense for reading clients, your sessions will be more and more smooth and more elegant. But we are looking for elegant change. Where it's not just repetition, it's not just the same suggestions compounded upon one another. You're actually looking to unlock the door rather than just try to bust it down. So this is results-based hypnosis as sort of a manifesto, sort of my stance for how I believe hypnosis should be done.